Hi, welcome to another episode of BS with Bella, and I have Celinda Ortega here today, who is past Miss New Jersey. So let's get into it. When did you start pageants, and when was your first pageant?
Good question. So I started pageants actually at a very young age. I started at 8 years old, and I did it because I felt like I was a really shy kid. I wanted to find a way to get me out of my shell and just try a new activity. I did some dance classes, but I was still trying to find my way and try new activities. So my mom and I thought it was a good idea to enter National American Miss New Jersey. So I did the
Oh,
junior preteen division. And even though I didn't win any awards or anything, I felt like a huge difference just from that first pageant. And I could tell, like, I could see myself with like a future in pageants. Like, so I continued doing it, and I went back the following year and I actually placed. So this time I did get like top 15. And
oh, so you're like, this is my sport. Like, this is my thing.
yeah, so I saw some improvement the following year. And then on top of that, I was like, not only like winning awards, but like making friends. So the girls that I met my first year, they came back as well. So it was like a nice place to make new friends, get out of my shell. And that was like the most important reason.
Mhm.
But after that, I took a long break because like I wanted to focus on school, other things. I even like dabbled in like acting and modeling a little bit in
Oh,
high
wow.
school. Yeah, and then I decided to go back in like my late teens, like right when we were starting to look for colleges.
Okay.
We recommend is like pageants do help with scholarships. So like I tried Miss America because they're the largest provider of scholarship money for young women.
That's like a big step, like going from like literally in high school to I'm gonna go for Miss America.
Yeah, and it was so funny. So, I mean, I wanted to do Miss America after National American Miss, and like so at age 18, I actually won the National American Miss national title. So, but it took 5 tries, just so people know. Like it wasn't like, oh, I just started seeing success right away. It took 5 years. Eventually, I got a national title, and then I went to the Miss America system. And then that's how I got my Miss Bergen County title. I competed in Miss New Jersey, and that was great because I got some scholarship money, more experience in Miss pageants. So, like Miss pageants, I consider a little more mature. They have swimsuit competitions, more intense interviews, and it
Okay.
was really good. I felt like it did help me a lot. And then I transferred to the USA system after that, and
Oh,
that's how I got the Miss New Jersey USA title.
oh, nice. So I know you said you started at a young age and you went big as a like, do you have any plans like right now, like where you want to go with your past with this? Because I know, how was your like Miss New Jersey experience? Can you like touch base a little bit on that?
Course, yeah. So Miss New Jersey USA, that was one of the most honorable experiences of my life. Not only because it took a lot of work to get there, but then just walking the Miss USA stage was incredible. Like for me, I'll never forget that moment when I first saw that stage and then got to walk on it because I used to watch Miss USA with my parents, my grandparents all the time. I've been keeping up with pageants in my family as well since like I remember 2003 when we saw Miss Dominican Republic win Miss Universe. That was the first Miss
Oh,
Universe
wow.
for family's country. So that was really cool. And so being able to like compete and also have a title in that same system that I've admired for years was really, really incredible.
So what did you do? Like, what was your exact roles with Miss New Jersey? Like, did you have certain standards when you won? How did it feel?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a big responsibility too. So on top of like there's a lot of cute like nice prizes and perks, like free trip to Cancun, San
Oh,
Diego.
I
You
just
see,
came back from Cancun. It's really nice over there.
oh, it's so great. I want to go back. But on top of the trips and like the prizes, it was great because I actually have like a nonprofit organization called Stellar Role Models where we host workshops for young girls ages 4 through 14 in New Jersey and New York. So I was able to expand that a little bit more, do community service around the state, and also just I love doing school visits because I remember like for assemblies and stuff, like I've had people that like really made an impact on me who visited like my schools in elementary and middle school. So being able to do that, like I just did like a read across America in a school in Queens and like visiting Girl Scout meetings, Boys and Girls Clubs, different elementary schools. That is like the most rewarding part.
When did you go into the competition for Miss New Jersey? Were you in college or like no, you it was after college? When did you go to that title or compete for that title?
So for the Miss New Jersey USA title, I was actually out of college when I won, but
Okay.
I started when I was in college. So
Okay.
I did it. My first Miss New Jersey pageant was my senior year of college. So I
Oh
was like,
wow.
yeah. And that was for the America system. Then I moved on that same year to New Jersey USA.
Okay.
And it was a big like jump because at first I really didn't see myself as a USA girl. So there's a difference
Yeah.
between America and USA. America girls, there's the talent competition. It's really more scholarship education based.
Okay.
They call it like, they look for a girl next door versus USA, which a lot of them look like supermodels. And like, I
Yes.
just didn't really see myself like that. But I was like, I'm going to go for it anyway because I feel like
Like just shoot your shot. You never really know until you try.
exactly. And that's what I was thinking too. I was like, I've like racked up all of this experience and I feel like I should just try it out. And even if it doesn't work out, I could say, well, at least I tried it and
Mhm.
gave it my all. So I did it. And then I actually got top 18. The first New Jersey USA pageant I did, went back, got top 18 again. And then I won the third attempt for New Jersey USA, jumped straight to winning. And
Wow.
that was really cool. Yeah. So I was out of college working in PR and
Wow.
yeah, I think what helped was the fact that like I was able to get more experience in my field for USA because they look for people who are very career driven and have had other
Yeah.
experiences. So I was able to like live outside of my pageant life a little bit more, develop my career, come back even stronger.
How is competing? Because a lot of people do wonder, is it like, for me, I'm even wondering, like when my mom used to tell me stories about modeling, like they size you, they look at you. Do they do that like in pageants? Like, are they very like image based? Like if you fit the image, you're in. If you don't, it's like very like how does the comp like, when they're picking competitors?
That's a good question. So it depends on the pageant. Like, the
Okay.
one you started in, that is not image based, actually. That's just all public speaking community.
Okay.
Now, America, that one, like, everyone has different scoring systems. Like, that one was like 50% talent, and like, interview was also like the second highest. So that one is more public speaking and
Mhm.
talent. Now, USA, image is taken into account. So you do have to have like an appearance
Yes.
that,
Mhm.
catches so it does matter a little bit, but there's so much more to it, I tell people, because, as someone who, again, didn't see myself as a supermodel at all, I'm very petite. I'm not like the traditional Miss New Jersey USA look, but I was still able to win. And I felt like it was like a combination of not just like your physical appearance, which, mind you, I don't even think it's even like certain height measurements or anything like that. It's actually, I feel the key is confidence, which I tell a lot of girls as a pageant coach that depending on how you walk on that stage with your confident mindset,
You
that
can own it. You can own it.
it really is like the key to winning. But then there's also like public speaking, your interview skills,
Mhm.
and also like the way you dress, the way you communicate and connect.
So, as a pageant coach, well, it's a little backtrack. You are now Miss DR, right?
Yeah, yes,
Right.
yes. It's just
And
been a
is
long
it hard
journey.
to balance like a pageant coach and being Miss DR? Is it all kind of come into play like as your week goes on, like it kind of flows nicely?
So the good thing about being like a pageant coach and a pageant title holder is I feel like even being a pageant coach, it's like helping me as a competitor myself. But yeah, being Miss DR USA, that has a lot of time commitment. So that's another thing, being a pageant coach. And especially right now, so Miss New Jersey USA is actually this week, and I have so many appearances. So some days, some weeks, it could just feel very overwhelming with a lot of work because I'm also a pre-med student,
Oh
and
wow. Good for you though. Like you got a lot going on for you. Like good for
yeah,
you.
I feel like sometimes I spread myself too thin too because I do like to commit to a lot of things, but there's just certain weeks where you definitely feel the stress, but I still
Yeah.
find it very worth it.
That's good for you for being like a pre-med, like Miss New Jersey. And I know that you have on your socials like you're a lupus warrior.
Yeah.
Has How is that like conquering like, lupus and doing everything you need to do and still like chase after your dreams? Like how is that like in your life?
That is all about balance
Mhm.
because I feel like with lupus, one of the triggers of lupus flares is stress.
Mhm.
So you have to be careful with like what you take.
Mm.
I noticed that for me, I do best when I take breaks in between. Like if I have to take a rest day, even though sometimes in my head I'm like, am I being unproductive? I realized like I need those
You
unproductive
need
days.
those days to calm down. Like,
Yes, I think that it really helps me to have those lazy days so that I can like continue being my best self on other
mhm,
more productive days. So that's the key as well with having lupus. It's very difficult because I get flares once a month. It's
mhm.
more under control than before. Like in 2018, I was hospitalized. It was near
Really?
fatal at the time. And it was really hard to control. I had no idea what was going on with my body. And when I finally went to the doctor, it was almost too late. But thank goodness I was able to get it under
Like
control.
you were there just in time.
Yes, it was, yeah, a very scary time.
Mhm.
But that was also, I feel, something that really helped me grow as a person because, like, going through that experience, it changed my whole life completely. Now, that's actually the time I decided to, leave my PR career, which is a big risk, and go back to school for medicine. And even though it was like very scary, I'm glad I took that jump, that risk. So it ended up working out better than I expected. I'm much happier now as a pre-med student, like helping other people with lupus and other autoimmune conditions. So, yeah, I'm very happy with that decision.
Well, that's great that you know how to balance. And also, I probably everyone is wondering who doesn't do pageants a lot,
Yeah.
is the crown heavy? And how heavy is it? Like, I feel like I have a little, I'm in a, like, I was in a sorority, so I had a little who did pageants here in South Carolina. And I just want to know, like, is the crown heavy? Like, is it light? Is it really not that heavy? Is it super heavy? You have to, like, pin it a certain way? Like, what is the secret to the crown? Is it really heavy?
That's actually a legit question. So the New Jersey USA crown, I consider it to be on the light side, but when you wear it on your head for like over an hour, like when I have the long appearances, I'll get like the dent on my head
It's like the ponytail dent that you get, like, the little bowl. Like,
and you will need an Advil after like a few hours wearing. You do get like that feeling like, oh, it's like weighing on my head. And my DRUSA crown is even bigger and heavier. So that one for sure, like even you could just be wearing it for like
yeah.
a few minutes and it's like, okay, this is heavy.
Does the DR stand for Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah, Dominican
So
Republic.
did you have to go to Dominican Republic and like do that, or was it like in the US? Because I know you said Miss DR USA, so it's like, did you have to go there? Like, how did that work?
So I actually competed here in New York City for the DRUSA
Oh
title.
wow, so that's nice. That's a little convenient to not to go.
Yes, and one thing I like about that title too is that I get to compete for Miss Universe Dominican Republic and hopefully in the
Oh,
to Miss Universe, which is like my ultimate pageant goal.
that would be awesome. Having a New Jersey girl up there.
Yes, but then I love that like I won here in the United States and I still get to represent not just like Dominican Republic but the US because I'm a first generation Dominican American. So
Oh,
even though
wow.
I am Dominican, proud to be Dominican, I still like to do community service and express my American side as well. So I get to do both. It's the best of both worlds.
What would you say is like your coolest experience you have done by winning these titles? Like coolest like not like job opportunity, but like opportunities you've gotten, charity events. What would be like your overall favorite one if you had to pick one?
Ooh. I remember like I got to be on the Nick Cannon show as Miss New Jersey USA, which was
Oh, that's kind of cool.
hilarious. And I felt like that was cool because I got to talk about lupus awareness and he has lupus as well. So
Oh, wow.
yes, that was a really cool experience. And I got like my own dressing room, got to go to, I like being on like those kind of appearances. So that was really cool. And then I'm trying to think like school visits for me are always like the most fun.
Mhm.
Uh, let's think. For me though, that one was like the first one that popped into my
Well, yeah, that's a cool experience though. I'm a little jealous that you won the Nick Cannon show. Out like, what did they make you feel like a star? You had your own dressing room.
yeah,
Did you
they
do
gave me
that? Did you do that with, you said Miss New Jersey title, right?
yeah, that was with the Miss New Jersey USA title
Wow.
right before Miss USA.
Oh, wow. Wow. What does a typical day look like for you right now? Like, are you in the process of going to Miss Universe right now, or no, you're saving that for a later date? Like, what is the typical day for you looking right now?
So right now, one thing I do is so in the morning I study for the MCAT because I still have to take that very soon.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
from 8 a.m. to like 11, I'm studying for the MCAT, just doing a bunch of flashcards. Then I take like a little breakfast break or like I have like a brunch basically and eat. And then I kind of transition into pageant coaching mode. So from 1 to like basically 9 or 10 p.m., I am coaching. But in
Oh,
between that,
wow.
I'm preparing myself for Miss DR Universe, which is actually happening very soon in April.
Ooh, that's like what, in like next month? Oh
just
my,
around the corner. Yeah.
oh my God. Are you nervous?
A little bit, only because it feels like a lot of pressure because this is something like another big national pageant.
Yeah.
Like I did Miss
Mhm.
USA, now Miss Universe Dominican Republic. So that is giving me pressure, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm doing the best that I can. I know
Yeah.
I've put hours in all the work that and responsibility that I can. So I feel like at peace with what I'm doing to prepare.
Now I just want to know. Now I just want to know, Rocky. I just want to know, are girls like how is the pageant world lifestyle? Is it very competitive like you see on movies, or some people talk about how it's very like in movies when they talk about it's like judgment, girls are looking at each other. Is it true, or is it more like a friendly environment? Or you definitely have had moments where it's like everyone's in game mode? The toddlers and tiaras, they make you seem like it's like a fight zone out there.
Oh my gosh. So that's funny that you mentioned that. And I'm glad that we're getting to talk about this because actually a lot of my best friends have come from pageants. Like when I think about who are going to be my bridesmaids, like most of them will be girls that I've met from my pageant journey.
Oh
So you
wow.
meet a lot of your best friends. And overall, I feel like it feels like high school, college, or even work, where it's like, for the most part, it's not a terribly catty experience at all.
Yeah.
Like I meet a lot of friends. It's a really good bonding experience because the girls that I went to like Miss USA with, or the girls that I did DRUSA with, only like we know what that experience is like that year. So we get to
Mhm.
like experience that like pressure together. We get to vent to each other, and we went to like trips together. Like for Miss USA,
So you,
I
it's
went.
like more of a bonding experience than more of like a competitive one.
Exactly. Like Miss USA, like the Cancun trip, the San Diego trip, we really got to have fun and it kind of like took the edge off. So we do feel pressure and like sometimes we will get competitive, but then it's like we have a lot of fun together at the same time.
Yeah, so it's like when it's on stage, it's everyone's fair game, but when it comes to outside, that's nice because you would think like, like for me, like toddlers and tiaras, like even though it sounds so stupid, but that was like my first, I guess, look on pageants because like I feel like pageants are becoming more common now than they were when I was growing up. Like, were
True.
they common for you when you were growing up, or no, not so much?
So I used to watch like Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss America. So I feel like I was always um in the pageant world somehow. Like I always like watched it since I was a little girl. But I do get you. I feel like recently I've been seeing it more in
Yeah.
on TV and like just hearing it on social media more. So that's interesting and good too, because there's so much more to pageants than like toddlers and tiaras, which I love. That show is very entertaining
But
actually.
the women on the show, those moms go to the battle. Like,
Oh my gosh. And like that's funny to see and but I just want like people to know like there's so much more and different types of pageants. Like I said, there's some that are just inner beauty based. There are some that are more like about confidence. Like I have my own inner beauty pageant. That one's all like just public speaking, community service,
wow.
just like whatever the girl wants to express herself as. Your physical appearance, your outfits don't matter. So there's pageants like that. And then there's also the good side. Like I said, the friendships. You make a lot of networking opportunities, trips, very cool experiences.
Have you ever been a judge for a pageant or no?
I have actually. So I have judged a couple times, but because I'm a pageant coach, a lot of the pageants that I want to judge, it could be a conflict of interest right now.
Oh,
So
I gotcha. It's like one of
yeah.
those like little rules, like, oh, I coach her, but I'm also a judge. I get that.
And it's like a big small world. Like a lot of people, you start to know a lot of people in this industry. So as a coach, it's like you have to pick one or the other.
Oh, wow. And
Mhm.
the Stella model is Stella like the Stella Rose. It's like Stella Rose, right? Stella Rose
Stellar.
model? Yeah. Is that your pageant coach company, or is that like kind of like to bring girls more confidence? Like what is that exactly is you do for them?
So it's actually like a separate branch, but under
Okay.
the same production. So there's Stellar Consulting, which is my pageant coaching business. Stellar Role Models is like a separate nonprofit organization, but it is ran by me and my mom. So
Oh,
we
that's nice. Like a little mom and daughter thing.
it is. And like she's also really passionate about empowering kids. She also loves the pageant world. So it was like a good way to tie like what we love to watch and do and also like our passion for helping kids. So yeah, it's a nonprofit organization, but it is like under the same umbrella.
What do you have like a motivational quote that you live by that gets you like through the pageant when you're like not feeling great about yourself or like you're having a really bad day or less confidence? What's like a motivational quote you have?
So for pageants, like I always remember beauty is a confident state of mind. And
Oh, that's
I
good.
always, yes, I love that because I know like it may sound cliche to some people, but I really do believe like I've felt it, like witnessed it firsthand with my journey that just by being confident, like you'd be surprised, like your change in attitude could get you so much further than you think. Just your attitude and your confidence.
I'm gonna use that one as my motivational quote. I haven't like what would you say to little girls who want to do this? Because I know even like me starting a podcast, you always have some haters and people go no matter what you do. What would you say to little girls like or something that you had to say back when you first started? What is something you would tell them or something you wish you knew before even going into pageants?
First thing to know is that you may not be successful right away, but don't let that define your worth either
Mhm.
because it's good to try it. You're going to learn so much more. I always say, like, you either win or you learn. And
Yeah.
if you walk, sometimes actually, you may not walk away with the crown, but I have seen girls who may not have won the pageant, but ended up being like just as successful or even further, like more successful than the actual pageant winner. Like for Miss USA, there were girls that went on different shows after Miss USA, like my sister queen, Miss Michigan, Taylor Hale. She ended up
Oh.
Big Brother for CBS, and she ended up winning and becoming mega successful.
Oh
Very,
wow, good for her.
yes. And she's just like living life, doing everything she wants to do, and she's being like such a good role model at the same time. So that's just like an example where you can make connections, like succeed in other ways.
How do you choose like your pageant style? So I don't know. I know nothing about pageants, but I
Yeah.
know like there's like a bikini, like there's
Uh,
like a dress, there's a dance or talent. How do you pick like your style?
as a pageant coach, one thing I learned to do is like observe throughout the years what are like certain patterns that they look for. New
Mhm.
Jersey, USA. I'm going to start with that one because I feel like that I can explain best. So Jersey
Yeah.
really likes sparkles. We like form
Oh,
fitting. So when I like think about my outfits for a certain pageant, I do study the pageants, what people have worn in the past, what the past
well,
winners
that's
have worn.
smart.
Yeah. So that's how I was able to come up with my wardrobe for New Jersey, for DR. So yeah, I pick a lot of like I love sparkle myself and I actually do prefer simple silhouettes, like no ball gowns or anything, just
Oh,
like
nice.
fitted. So that's what I ended up doing, like a fitted sparkly dress for both actually, DR and New Jersey. And then yeah, they give you actually a handbook for New Jersey, USA, and Miss USA on like what to pack for the dance and what to do for swimsuit.
Oh, that's nice. A little checklist.
Yeah, they give you a checklist and everything you need to know to like pick out accordingly.
Now, you have like great skin, and I know you probably put like, you get your makeup and hair done all the time. How do you keep your skin from like the pageants? Like, cause I know like when I just put so much makeup on my face that like sometimes I break out. Like, what is your secret? Like, I have to know because you're always shining on Instagram.
Oh, thank you. So actually, Elite Salon and Spa here in Bergen County, here in New Jersey, they actually were my sponsor, not only for Miss USA, but DR USA.
Oh,
So they gave me facial services and they have like okay, biologique recherche. Hopefully I'm
okay.
saying it right. But that's the facial I got, and I felt like it really helped with the texture and also just helped me like keep my skin normal while I was wearing a lot of makeup.
Yeah, we don't got that down here in South Carolina. So when I go home, I'm definitely gonna have to tell my mom to take me there.
Yes, if you could find a hydrofacial near you or like and that doesn't have to be often. On the other hand, like I feel like there are certain products that just use like simple like washes and stuff. Like I just use like Cetaphil to wash my face and just make sure that like my skin barrier like not exfoliating too much. But when I do exfoliate, I like the Dermalogica microfoliant.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
That one's really good. So and it's like
So
a
you use like drugstore stuff.
I
Like you
do.
don't.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
Like Cetaphil, and actually my moisturizer is Elf.
Oh
It's like,
wow.
yeah.
Is a lot of your makeup for pageants, is that like high end or is that more like you'll do a drugstore? Like a few here
So
and there.
even though like a lot of my skincare things are drugstore, my makeup, a lot of it is high end.
Yeah, I figured. What is your
Because
favorite product? What is your favorite product? Like
so
found
I like Shape Tape concealer from Tarte.
oh, I want to try that. I'm a little nervous to try. It doesn't really cover a lot.
I feel like it covers a lot. Like, especially I sometimes don't get a lot of sleep, especially with pageants. Like, you do not sleep during pageant week. So that one covers every dark, like, no, you will not see any dark circles with it. So I recommend that concealer.
And what do you use for foundation when you go on stage? Because you know, like the lights and everything, you have to look your best or you look washed out.
So
Past
true.
experience from being on stage, I have seen pictures of myself and I'm like, oh God.
Wait, did you do a pageant before?
No, I've never done a pageant before. When I was I've done things like here at school, like I was in a sorority, so we did like Greek Week stuff, and like I did like my makeup one time for like a game show, and people were taking pictures of me, and like it's like flashback, like flashback Mary, like I'm like, oh my God. Even like doing like podcasts, like I have to like do my makeup certain way, or like the camera just gets the wrong angle.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. So like my foundation is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation.
That's a
If
good one.
Yes. And I feel like with that one, I don't get like, when, like you said, the flash, or if
Yeah.
you're on stage with like heavy lighting, it does not give you like an off color, washes you out. So for me, that's like, I've just stuck with it, and have not changed my foundation in years. It's just that one.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on BS with Bella and talking about your experiences. I loved having you on here.
I loved being with you, getting to talk about everything. And thank you
Everything.
so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Have a good one.